Alright, I'm back. I'm ready to roll.
You may pull all this together, you may pull this back and then on the bottom.
Fucking slam, bro. Just fucking slam. Just fucking slam him. Is Cal's it?
Yep.
Hopefully.
Alright, I'm obviously gonna hit the big one. Fucking pull, boys.
Good day, what do you got? What?
Fucking slam.
Pretty fun. That was a pretty good one.
I'm gonna say this is the official advice from Ready Check Pull, and you correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
For this coming week, heroic and normal, just have fun, yo. Don't. Okay, first of all, wait. Before I get there, don't make a legendary. This is my advice. You know, you don't have to do this.
If you already did, it's not the end of the world.
But I would suggest not making a legendary until after the tuning, because there will be tuning after heroic. Blizzard just does crazy whatever they're gonna do.
The Tuesday after heroic.
Yeah, maybe they tell us over the weekend and we find out. But I would suggest not making a legendary. Just enjoying heroic for what it is. Don't worry about trying to parse.
Alright, I'll watch that shit. I think this is absolutely fucking insane. I think Dratnos had a video, where he basically says the exact opposite.
On there. If you're a super high-end player, you maybe are instead interested in just crafting one, making sure it's the right one, making sure it's in the right slot, making sure that you wait as long as possible before nerfs, and then making sure that that one will get to rank 4 as soon as possible. So if that is your goal, you may wish to avoid spending these extra hits of 1250 Soul Ash to get set up in these next week or two. But for most players, I don't think that is a good strategy. So I would recommend crafting a legendary as soon as you can, and just make sure you pick some good stats, get it into the rune carver here, and you're good to go.
Alright, and like, what is the difference between these two fucking people? Well, here's my mage, right? He's over here. Boop. Here's his current sim, and I ran a top gear sim comparing the Firestorm legendary, which is one of the best. It's not clear if it's the best. It's certainly not going to be the best in all situations. But looking at the raid, I think it's going to be useful for heroic, and it seems good. Personally, I think the mage legendary that the Ready Check Pull guys were talking about is kind of troll. The Bloodlust legendary, because all of the fights that matter, you might want to lust later on if you are having trouble, instead of on pull, which means you wouldn't get any use out of that tool. And if you need that legendary to progress through the fights that don't matter, then you're probably not even watching this fucking content anyway, right? Anyway, so here I ran a just a sim comparing my current gear with enchants and gems and with the correct talents, so it should be this one right here. This is my current build. Let me scroll down. Here you go. So this is my current build. I was just doing some dungeons, so I was actually running a different flame patch instead of conflag. But this is my current sim. If I enchant my shit and put a gem in, okay, cool. This is my sim right here. If I had a 210 version of the shoulders, I'm actually wearing a 190 version right now, right? Here you go. So I fucking made this week. So this is the important part right here, that for some reason, here you go, right here, 49 DPS. Okay, so if I didn't make this, if I had a 210 version of this, basically it's worth 50 DPS over what I have right now. This is important because if there is tuning before Mythic Week, you will still have time to make a rank 1 legendary of whatever the hell you want. So the additional, 20 item levels that you get, which doesn't impact the effect at all, translates to 49 DPS.
It ain't about that. I mean, it's not about that at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
so the question is, who exactly in the world who's playing World of Warcraft, who exactly in the World of Warcraft is 49 DPS meaningful to? Right, because let's say this legendary gets nerfed, God knows why, right? But let's say this legendary gets worse, and instead I need to farm up and make, like this one. Like let's say this one becomes Biss all of a sudden, right? Okay, cool. I can make that instead. I'll make a rank 1 version of it, and roughly speaking, we know that the difference in stats, right, from down here, the difference in stats between the eye levels is going to be 49. So if I hadn't crafted this one this week, right? If I didn't craft this rank 1 this week, and then I was able to immediately craft rank 2 BIS legendary, you know, by the end of next week or going into Mythic week, whatever, and be all set up. The only thing is different is that my fucking rank 2 legendary would be giving me an extra 49 DPS worth of stats.
But it's easy to talk about. It's easy to sum it up.
49 DPS. That's it. Okay, who's that worth the headache for? Okay, well, let's look at WoW Prog, right? Alright, so complexity limit killed Nazoth February 6th, 2020. Alright, they're the best guild in the world last year. RIP method. RIP method. Alright, well, let's just fucking click through here a bunch, right? Temerity, they're a good guild. Alright, they're the 100th best guild in the world, apparently. Something like 40 US, I think, right? Oh, 24th US. Nice job, guys. Alright, March 16th. March 16th. Again, Feb 6th, March 16th. We're talking 5 weeks between these guys and the 24th best US guild in the world / the 100th best guild. Bear in mind, if you crafted a legendary this week to prep for heroic raid, you are going to be a maximum of 1 week behind on a legendary. However, since they're so easily farmable, the 1 week behind will only apply up until the point that somebody gets the rank 4, which should be 5 weeks from today, basically. 5 weeks and 3 days from today. So, you pay a 49 DPS price in Mythic if you get tuned for 5 weeks. So who is actually going to be struggling such that 49 DPS means something for 5 weeks? Well, look at your Nyalotha progression. Did you clear the raid in 5 weeks? So if you are any of these players, these guilds scrolling by the screen right now, congrats, 49 DPS matters. You're not watching this video, you're not watching this video, you're not watching this video. You know what the fuck you're doing. You tested as a guild these fights on beta. If you're any of these other guys right down here, 49 DPS, man.
I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice. I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, you know, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do.
That shit probably doesn't matter to you. I hate to say it. And if you're in my position, right? I mean, we fucking suck. If you're in my position, where we didn't kill this thing forever, you know, let's be honest. We're fucking. I mean, that's just fucking painful to see. To be honest, that is. Like, we're gonna wipe in heroic. This tier, I don't think I think we'll do better this tier. I think we've got a good team, but we are gonna wipe in heroic and 203 DPS across 14 DPS players. Actually, we're not going to bring 14 DPS to heroic. We're going to bring more like 20, right? 14 DPS, 200 DPS times 20 DPS players times 60 seconds in a minute times an 8-minute boss fight. You're looking at 2 million extra damage in heroic, you know, plus whatever the tanks and healers can get in terms of survivability and throughput. 2 million extra damage in heroic over an 8-minute boss fight, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's going to be a nice little cushion. That's going to make our heroic clears easier. We've only got 2 nights to do it. We didn't practice the fights. Only a few of us ever did any raid testing. We just did it in pugs. We're not going into the tier super prepared with like big expectations of competing in the first month. 2 million DPS in heroic is going to be a lot. 2 million damage, sorry, in heroic would be really nice. Now, obviously, if your BIS legendary or one of your good ones doesn't drop from heroic, then from Mythic Plus or Mythic Zeros that you can get now. Basically, obviously, if you can't farm this now, then don't craft something terrible. Wait till the raid and then make it, right? But even then, I think if you get it on Tuesday, you should make it on Wednesday for Wednesday's prog. I don't think there's any harm in doing that. And yeah, I think some of the angst and the hullabaloo about should I craft, should I not, what is it going to get balanced, is by people who just didn't run a sim like this and just haven't seen that this is the result.
We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man.
Okay, Shadowlands systems are really fucking awesome. You can make a legendary basically every week. It'll be a rank 1 instead of a rank 2 eventually. You know, basically you can apply 50 DPS to each rank of the legendary. So if all you do is make rank 1s, then at some point you're going to be 200 DPS behind, right? So at some point you want to make a rank 4. But heroic tuning week is not something to be concerned about. And you shouldn't delay making a legendary for heroic tuning week just for 49 DPS. That only lasts for 5 weeks.
Man, look, I hear you. It's funny to me too. I mean, it's strange. It's strange to me too. But we talking about practice, man.
But yeah, that's my view. I think Dratnos was correct. I think you should just make whatever the hell's good now, unless your name is contained on the rosters of one of these guilds. If you're not in one of those guilds, that's it. If you're not one of those guilds, I know a lot of people would like to be, a lot of people are playing as if they are, a lot of people like to be as competitive as those players or compete with those players on the logs. And I guess I'm here to tell you that 49 DPS is not going to make or break that for you.